Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are watching from today. I am unfortunately still very much under the weather, but please let's bear with me here as I try to push through this the best I can as I deal with an illness that I've been battling for some time now. I do think it's trending up, but we shall see. The topic we have today involves a resurfaced video clip of Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth issuing a pretty terrifying warning about a war with China and what could happen within the first 20 minutes of that conflict. This is not something you're going to want to miss. It really is a sobering moment when you realize about what a war between China and the U.S. just might look like. Before we get into all of that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment with your thoughts below about what you think about a potential war with China, and then let's roll into it now. So it's not a secret to anyone watching this that the United States and China are on an escalation ladder for some time now in terms of territory in the territory in Asia, Taiwan, the South China Sea. China's military is rapidly expanding. They're trying to build their naval forces as fast as they can. They're trying to build their rocket forces as fast as they can. They're trying to build more stealth air assets. They have a stealth bomber in the works. They already have stealth fighter jets, although nobody really knows how good they are. They're also building a bunker that is 10 times the size of the Pentagon to ride out a potential nuclear conflict. And a lot of people think that what could hit the breaking point would be China's attempt to invade and take Taiwan. If that were to happen, the United States military and our allies in the region, South Korea, Japan, Australia, would almost certainly attempt to intervene in what would be one of the bloodiest military confrontations the world has ever seen since World War II. Two nuclear powers have never, ever gotten to a full-blown war before. A conflict between China and the United States would be the first one, and you would see firepower unleashed on both sides the world has never seen in modern warfare. Those are the facts of the matter. There's a lot of debate about how that war might go, who would win, what it would look like, and we're going to get into that here shortly. But there's a video clip that has been going viral in recent days of Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth during an old interview he did with Sean Ryan prior to being Secretary of Defense, where he talked about what would happen if U.S. aircraft carriers attempted to surge in the area to protect Taiwan or protect our other allies in the region, and China opened up on them with hypersonic missiles, something the Chinese have spent a lot of money and resources developing. Hegseth's assessment is a very grim one for what U.S. The aircraft carrier fleets would have happen to them in the region. So let's go ahead right now. Let's play that clip of Pete Hegseth predicting what might happen.
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems, we're always, the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works, we're always a decade behind in fighting the last war. Whereas China, we have, what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war of the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe. And yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if, 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like?
Yeah.
So right there, you saw Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth say the United States could lose all of our aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict with China due to China being able to unleash hypersonic missiles at U.S. carrier fleets, our aircraft carriers, our ships. And you're talking about one aircraft carrier has roughly about 5,000 people on it. if we have 10 of them that are there, or 11 of them, whatever it might be, you're talking about 50,000 people. I have stressed over and over and over again that the real threat the United States faces when it comes to other countries, and it's not close, is China. China is the ball game. China is everything. What's happening in Eastern Ukraine, what's happening in Eastern Europe with Ukraine and Russia, as tragic and horrible as it might be, does not impact the United States of America and American citizens' lives on a daily basis. What's going on in Israel, in the Middle East, no matter what you think about that, again, has zero impact on the big picture here in the United States. The same cannot be said for China. If we get into a hot conflict with China, we will lose more men in the first 24, 48 hours than we lost in the entire global war on terror. And we have to look at this with clear eyes, and we have to understand the threat we're facing. There's a lot of distractions in the media. There's a lot of talking heads who frankly don't have any idea what they're talking about, speaking about all these other subjects. I can't stress this enough. If we get into a shooting conflict with China, it'll be anything unlike what we've seen in modern times. Now, does the United States have the ability to confront China, beat them back, push them away from Taiwan, and make sure that they're not allowed to gain control of an entire section of the planet? We absolutely do. And we are producing weapons and weapons platforms to make sure that remains the case. For example, we have the new B-21 Raider, which is the world's most advanced stealth bomber. It will replace the B-2 stealth bomber eventually. So far, I believe we have one in service with a few more on the way shortly. We also are developing the F-47, which is a few years away from being in regular service. And we have a variety of other weapons systems as well that the public likely doesn't even know about. We have to understand that China is not Iraq, it's not Iran, it's not a third world country. It has an advanced military. It has a large navy. It has nuclear weapons. It has stealth fighters. Now, we don't know how good any of that technology is because China has not had to fight a war in modern times. Their military has never been tested. And that's a huge advantage for us, right? Because our military has been tested. We have hundreds of thousands of combat-hardened veterans in this country. And you learn in war through experience, and the United States has a ton of it. In fact, there's no military on the world, on the face of the planet, with more experience than the United States military. That's a huge advantage for us. But that experience is not going to stop hypersonic missiles from flying through the air. That's just a fact. Now, if we get into a on-the-ground style operation shootout, I have no doubt our guys will take care of business. We've got better tech. We've got better training. We've got better gear. We've got more money and all that stuff. And we've got the experience. But we have to prioritize dealing with China. And the fact Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said in that interview that they have the ability to sink our aircraft carriers, and that will be the first thing they attempt to do if they invade Taiwan. Let's be crystal clear about that. If they attempt to invade Taiwan, the first targets they're coming for are our aircraft carriers. Why? They don't want us to be able to flood fighter jets into the region and bomb them from above. They're also going to hunt our submarines, but I have no doubt our submarines will absolutely clean up in a direct engagement. I mean, we have nuclear subs. China mostly has old diesel subs that, they're nothing compared to ours. But they will target those aircraft carriers. They're going to target Guam. They'll target anything that is within missile striking range. So no matter what you hear on the news, no matter what you hear from the pundits, the reality is this. It all comes down to China. And we need to take that threat insanely seriously, and we need to prepare for a conflict with them. And if we don't, the outcome could be catastrophic. Right now, I believe that we can still win that fight. And if that fight happened today, we will win it. But we're only going to continue to hold that edge if we keep our eye on the ball. But I want to hear your comments. Let me know below what you think about the threat that China poses. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you know when there's a new video. I'll do my best to get healthy so next time I'm not, my voice doesn't sound terrible and all that stuff. But I appreciate it. I'm going to keep pushing through. And as always, I'll see you next time.